For all of you who listen to Submersion and own an Android device, go to the Google Play Store and download the Podcast Republic app. It's a fantastic app that allows you to get all of your favorite podcasts directly on your Android device. I personally use the app and I love it. I can search for the podcast I want to listen to, select it as a favorite, and have it just a click away. Make sure you select Submersion as a favorite so you don't miss any of our new episodes every Thursday. Again, the app is the Podcast Republic app, available on Android devices. Episode 123.
Wait a second. Are
we not doing Audacity?
No.
Whoa! Technological achievement.
Yeah, start it now. Go ahead, start it now.
Okay, I started it. Just in case. It doesn't...
Wow, I'm a little rusty, I guess. You know, I've been like a week, whatever, you know, and then here I am, just fall off the rails. But it is what it is, man. Is this 123? What is this? 123, 124? Where are we at?
I think it's at least 150, 170.
It might be. Oh, cool guy, Zach. Look at you.
Whoa,
man.
Look at his glasses. Podcasters,
Do I need to get
look at
my
his glasses.
aviators?
What?
No.
Do I need to get my aviators?
Yeah.
Dude, if you want to be legit, hashtag submersion fresh for life, yo. Listeners, shout at it. Kyle here will send you $100.
Cash money.
Whoa.
In the near future.
Zach's mic broke up there. See, we're going to sound like dog shit without Audacity.
He's fine. He's all right.
I've got Audacity running.
Yeah, man. He's got it figured
No,
out.
I'm saying we'll never be able to do away with Audacity.
Never say never. Let's find out.
But yeah, hit up Kyle. He'll send you money if you need it.
That was a transition.
He's a philanthropist.
I guess now. Apparently, I'm a philanthropist. So,
Kyle, what's your license plate for a philanthropist?
my license plate?
If you're a philanthropist, what's your license plate say?
I, less than heart, 2, then GIV.
Oh. I like that.
Kyle, do you like the show Arrested Development?
Yes.
Have you seen every episode?
I guess not. I haven't seen like the newest seasons and stuff. Like I watched, what was it like? What they have 3 seasons that were on air or something, and then they did like the Little Russia thing, and then I tried watching the Netflix one. And that first one, I know it was so disjointed and stuff, and they like totally redid it essentially afterwards because it was so screwed up. But
pretty much.
Okay.
The Netflix ones suck. I feel like a lot of shows do the therapist, the rapist joke. I mean, Always Sunny even did the full-on rapist, philanthropist joke.
Oh.
Sorry, Kyle. I'm not trying to be a dick here.
No, you're fine, man.
It's the glasses.
No, dude. It went, here's my head, and it just went right over it, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the license plate? I forget now.
It was whatever way it was, it just looked like full-on rapist. So.
Okay.
And Tobias drove it. Like it was Tobias's license
Tobias's
plate.
character's so good in that
There's
show.
another one, though. There's another Tobias license plate.
Well, Tobias has so many. He's like the funniest one. He has so many funny jokes.
Yes, a new start, and it said anus tart.
Anus tart. Yeah.
Yeah. My word.
And welcome to the Arrested Development podcast, where we recap vaguely remembering jokes from Arrested Development.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of Arrested Development podcasts.
No, but our podcast is about vaguely remembering the jokes from different things.
Like, we haven't watched it in years, and we're just trying to recall it.
No,
I'm pretty good at that.
No rewatch is allowed.
Right. So next week's episode, I think, is Family Matters. And as far as I remember, it's mostly Urkel being like, did I do that? I think.
I would agree. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good about getting halfway through a story and then forgetting the punchline from the joke.
Right.
So this would be great for me.
Now there's a big question here. Are we even going to keep going after this episode? Because Thursday, PlayStation 5's coming out. Zach and I are officially retired because that's all we're going to do. And
we better be gaming on Call of Duty, right? Like that's.
Oh, we're going to be on. We're going to be on.
Okay.
People want to challenge us, you can fight us.
When we're done with this episode, remind me about that. I have to talk to you about something.
Oh, scandalous.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, after dark, that's for the second episode.
You guys playing the Cold War one?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I've been spending way too much money
crossplay, baby,
on video game things coming out. So
looks like they got Ronald Reagan in that one, and
do they?
Was that Kurt Russell?
Dude, it's gonna be pretty awesome. I'm
I think it's gonna be
excited.
sick.
I'm excited for
Crossplay,
more of our Halo
all games.
nights, honestly, because I snagged one of these today, and I was like, "Hoo-wee, man, here we go." It's
Yeah, I'm
sweet.
always ready for Halo nights.
Zach didn't see it; he wasn't even looking.
It was a blue controller. I saw it.
Oh man, he did look. Wow, you're good. You are good.
You can't
Yeah.
tell with those aviators.
I know, man. He's looking everywhere.
See?
All I can see
I
is
look
like his
cool.
screen. Well, I don't know what's going on. What is this? What are we doing now? Anyway, man,
I certainly don't know.
nobody knows. Nobody really knows anymore. We didn't even open how we said we were going to open, but hey,
We butchered this one. We should really open with a moment of silence.
It's true.
So does Jamie, would you like to say why?
Well, it's a big
The
week.
date is November 10th,
Yeah. And
2020.
it was a big week in terms of celebrity deaths, as people may have heard. Very somber news. That Sean Connery, the one and only, the one we celebrated the 90th. He gave away something for his 90th birthday not that long ago. Played a terrible video game in his memory, or not his memory at the point, but in his honor. And now we're doing this podcast in his memory because he passed away at the age of 90 years old. And not to be outdone,
And
he
his
then-
rival.
yeah, then not to be outdone, was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember.
The day before.
Day before, Alex Trebek passes
It
away.
was Sunday. Alex Trebek, his arch nemesis from Celebrity Jeopardy, passed away.
So I will say, if we get enough feedback, the four of us will do a 24-hour live stream playing The Hunt for Red October, and we just keep going.
Yeah. If we
All
get
right.
enough feedback, though, guys,
Enough feedback.
It's got to be enough. You got to hit that threshold of enough, and you'll know it when you hit it. I'll just leave it at that.
you will.
'Cause we get to pick it.
Yeah.
Are we launching into a James Bond movie month now, or a Sean Connery James Bond micro movie month, or what's the plan here?
I think
There's no
general
plan.
James Bond would be good.
All right,
It's,
we'll figure
it's
it out.
totally
You'll-
off the
you'll figure it
rails.
out.
There's no plan. We will.
But
have
at the
to
very
figure it
least,
out.
this episode we are dedicating to the honor and memory of Sean Connery.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
On that note, what began as an innocent conversation among friends would soon spiral out of control and later be referred to by future generations as the eighth wonder of the modern world. Mac East Studios takes you on the journey of your lifetime as your captains, the artist formerly known as Brom, Jamie the Ointment, Kyle El Capitan, and the Gruesome Twosome present Submersion. Oh,
Love it.
you look at that, man. You got the aviators in the middle of the intro.
We need to do
Got 'em.
this like every morning when I'm on my way to work, just so I get like pumped up.
A little jazzed up.
Yeah.
Do you have to? Mine would be short
Got the
walk. I'm working from
aviators.
home mostly, so
Yeah, me too.
yeah.
Guys, is System of a Down releasing 2 songs the greatest thing or only good thing at this point that's happened in 2020?
I wouldn't say it's the only good thing that's happened in 2020.
What else is good?
Well, I mean, there's some recent events that I was pretty happy about. Maybe some other people aren't so happy about, but I am.
Yeah, Kyle.
What? What do you look at me?
I know. Well, Kyle wanted Kanye. and
100%.
He came up just short. Just short.
Just short.
I was gonna
Good
vote
showing,
for
though.
Kanye if he was on our ballot, but I had to write him in, which I was also prepared to do. But I also had to write in the vice president, which you don't have to do in some states.
You're
But in
required.
Ohio, you
They're
have to
really
write in the vice-
testing you.
Yeah, you have to, I'm like, oh, if I don't know this lady's name, I knew it was a lady.
But you
Well,
could write in anyone. Well, whatever.
he was on our
But,
ballot. Minnesota had the
I
second
called
highest
a-
number of
called a last
Kanye
minute
votes,
audible.
and
Oh.
Tennessee had number 1 overall. So looks like I'm going
He's
to be
promising
moving.
a win in 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what did he
So what
say?
are we talking about?
We're talking
Kanye
about the
West,
election,
man.
but we really should be talking about Sean
Yeah,
Connery's
This is not a political podcast.
Sixth
Yeah, let's not
movie,
get into politics.
sixth movie as James Bond, the seventh in the series, having come back to the role after missing one. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys know? And I guess this is maybe stepping on the reviews and stuff like that. Was this a well-regarded one at the time? I didn't really even know. Is this considered a good
question.
I think at the time, yes.
It doesn't have. Yeah,
I think
it doesn't have a very good review anymore.
No, it's decreased in time, but it's definitely at the time because I looked this stuff up. So believe me. But at the time, people were like, yes.
Okay. And then, so it's Sean Connery as James Bond, rest in peace. And then we have Jill St. John as Tiffany Case, which I guess you'd call the Bond girl, one of the Bond girls.
Or Batman.
Yeah.
You'd call her Batman?
Well, no, she was in the old Batman show.
Oh.
And then Charles Gray as Ernst Blofeld, Stavro Blofeld. And then probably, I guess you'd say, there's a few other people. Plenty O'Toole is kind of like a random American Bond girl, just kind of weird and thrown in there. And I think probably Bruce Glover and Putter Smith were the other two that I really like. That's Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd. They were really kind of funny, and I didn't totally understand what the shtick was. Were they like a pair? Were they known outside of Bond or something like that?
They were lovers.
They were, they were a homosexual couple.
Yes.
Yeah, but I guess I'm wondering, were they paired up because
they were hitmen?
It made sense to take. Were they from something else, basically? Or
they were hitmen.
No,
they're specific to Bond, though.
They were a hitman. Okay, in the book, they were a hitman from like this secret organization. In the movie, I think they're just hired hitmen, right? As goons.
Yeah, they're just villains. Every movie's got their own villain.
This is the only
This
Bond
the ones they appeared in.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
the way they acted was a little bit strange, just like a little bit flat. I don't know if that was Mr. Kidd. Was he the one that was a little more flat?
Yeah.
With the amazing
They're
hair.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
Mr. Kidd definitely had very few acting credits before and after. Mr. Wint still acts to this day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're both still alive, but Mr. Wint is still an actor. Mr. Kidd only has like 5 acting credits.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I didn't know if that was something they were from something else or had been recurring characters or something.
They looked super familiar to me, and it's probably just because I saw this movie when I was a kid. But
maybe. So does anyone else have anything to mention before we dive on into this recap?
Well, Plenty O'Toole, who you mentioned, is played by Lena Wood, who's sister to the uber famous Natalie Wood.
I have a question. We obviously, as you just said, Plenty O'Toole is a punny name or whatever you want to call it. Is there something with Wint and Kidd that I'm missing?
No, I don't know.
I don't think so.
Because that's from the novel. Were the novels as
on the nose?
Kind of tricky with those names. Yeah. I don't know. Because it's not like Blofeld is like a crazy weird name or anything.
No.
And that's from the novels.
Imagine if you were in school and your teacher was Mr. Blofeld.
Yeah, that's true. Jokes. That would be pretty tricky, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd
make some jokes, just saying. So I'm sorry to anybody out there who's got that name. I'm not saying I would, but Jamie would.
For sure.
Jamie would. He guy's such a...
He's a monster.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Monster Man, that's what they call me. But anyways, getting into
the intro.
We open and James Bond, 007, Sean Connery, reprising his role. Everyone's like, who's that? That's not my favorite George Lazenby. And he's like, no, I'm Sean Connery. And I'm here to kick some A, because I don't swear. And he's there to take out Blofeld once and for all. Now, do you guys know, was this the first time Blofeld was in the series, or no, he's been recurring?
No,
he's been in it, but this was like this guy's first iteration of the character, right? I mean, this actor's first portrayal.
No actor has played Blofeld twice.
Okay.
Like, why?
Except maybe what's his name?
The newer one.
The new one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say, that guy.
Right. So anyways.
I haven't seen any of the new ones.
James Bond is there. He's pursuing him. Blofeld's in the middle of going to have some cosmetic surgery, or at least that's kind of implied. It's like, oh, it seems like he's getting plastic surgery to not look like Blofeld anymore. James Bond comes in. There's someone after having surgery resting in like a mud pit, and he goes up, and the guy comes out, has a gun. Sean Connery James Bond knocks it out of his hand. They have a little bit of a scuffle, and eventually he drowns this person. When he brings the person out of the mud, it's not Blofeld at all. It doesn't look like him at all. And Blofeld comes out and he's like, you interrupted me right before, we were able to finish, making him look like me. So he was creating doubles of himself through surgical means. And they now get into a bit of fisticuffs with each other with the real Blofeld. And eventually it seems like he drowns him in a pit of mud. So it's a bunch of mud, pushes Blofeld in there, tied to a thing, and then he's dead, quote unquote.
Yes, and one of the best things here, because there's always kinds of wacky and zany things that James Bond has, right? Just hidden up his sleeve, and literally this time, something was hidden up his sleeve. A guy goes to get him and grab his gun or something and reaches into his sleeve, and essentially there's a mouse trap in there. And grabs the guy's gun. I was like, that's amazing. Who's doing this? Who's putting something like that up their shirt sleeve?
So at this point, because they have taken out Blofeld and basically their main enemies out of there, their adversary, James Bond is brought back in, and MI6 is kind of brought into they need a new client, and there's this like diamond mine that's basically like, okay, let me get you up to date on this. And James Bond's like, boring, speed it up. He doesn't like having to do these types of jobs.
Well, this is a weird job too, because it's about diamonds, and they're like, well, what's going on? And they're like, well, somebody's stockpiling diamonds, and we think they're going to release them onto the market and drive the price of diamonds down. And it was, maybe I have a wrong interpretation of this, but isn't MI6 like a government-run spy program type thing?
Yeah, they imply it's like the diamond person is like important to the government or whatever. So like doing it as a bit of a favor, I think.
Why are they getting involved in this? Well,
they also
immediately was like, what's going on here?
I think there's suspicions about it because they don't actually know what it is. Like it's either being stockpiled to depress the prices by dumping it onto the market, or there's some other scheme going on. But the thing that's concerning and why it's brought to them is that they're not seeing it show up on the market. People aren't just making money off these diamonds. They clearly have a larger plan. And so they set up Bond as an assassin, as a smuggler, Peter Franks, and heads to Amsterdam to do a little trickery and get Franks stuck in customs. And Bond heads to Amsterdam as Franks to meet up with the smuggling contact, cleverly named Tiffany Case.
And one of the funniest things here, and I don't know, maybe you guys noticed this, when he goes to get on the ferry to cross the English Channel or whatever, it zooms in on this, it says like ferry, cars, and then in the middle it says hovercraft. And it just zooms in on that for an awkwardly long amount of time. It's like,
and I couldn't tell if it was a joke or not. It seemed like they were actual giant hovercrafts. That people
we get it, man. Like you don't have to zoom in that close on it.
Right. It's a giant hovercraft. We see it. So anyways, he shows up, kind of flirts a little bit with Tiffany Case. Everything's going super smoothly. Like Tiffany Case loves him. James Bond loves Tiffany Case. They're all set to do the smuggling. And she's like, okay, come back later. At that time, Bond is told, hey, Franks escaped. He's going to show up. So then he quickly runs over, knowing that Franks is going to head to Tiffany Case's place. And they do battle, and he's able to kill Franks, the real Franks, by throwing him over the banister of the elevator. And then he quickly switches IDs with him. So Tiffany Case thinks Bond that he just killed James Bond. Like, my God, you killed James Bond. That's impossible. No one just kills James Bond. You're in like deep shit. That's basically what she says. And he's like, oh, really? Well, don't even worry about it. Let's grab those diamonds. And she's like, oh, it's here. And it's like she hit him in a chandelier. It's like, okay, how are we going to get them into Los Angeles? And so using Franks' corpse, Bond, brings it into the country. Did you guys hear the joke when he brought it into the country and they asked where the diamonds were? The customs agent is an undercover FBI. and he made a joke about the where he had hid the diamonds.
Yeah, because he's sitting there feeling around the stomach and like the legs. He's like, "Where is it?" And what do he say? The usual place.
No, he said alimentary, my dear Watson.
Oh, okay.
Which is a play on elementary, but instead of saying elementary, he says alimentary, which is like the digestive tract. So I presume it means it was up his butt. But
I'm not smart enough to know that one.
It's funny.
No,
I was
no.
like, whoa, that's a funny goddamn medical joke right there. So anyways, they're able to get it through. He gets picked up by a group of at a funeral home, like a group of kind of thuggy looking people from a funeral home.
Yeah, it's
And
really weird. They get like what, 5 people
like
in a
mobsters
hearse?
almost. Yeah, it's like mobsters, and they head down to this place, and the idea is, okay, they're gonna cremate Franks's body, give the diamonds over to Bond, who's then going to deliver it to another smuggler. And so Bond sets the diamonds off onto the side or into this area. The smuggler, who's a performer, a Vegas performer, because now they've traveled to Las Vegas. He opens it up, sees the diamonds, he heads out, and at that point, Wynton Kidd, who we've seen in periodically in little cutscenes, systematically killing people associated with the smuggler. So they've been hired to kind of cover the trail of the diamond smuggling, and so they kill like the smugglers, then they kill the people who are supposed to pick it up first, then they kill a woman who's helping them, get them into Amsterdam, and now it's time to take out Bond, aka Franks, who's part of this whole thing. So they're assassins, kind of covering everything up. And so Wynton Kidd really just multiple times in this movie take out Bond, almost kill him by knocking him out. Instead of just shooting him or doing something easy to kill him, they decide we're going to do the craziest thing to do because that's what we do. And so he puts him into a casket and throws him into the cremator, and he's rescued because it was all fake diamonds. He didn't actually smuggle the diamonds in that way. The diamonds are already hidden away, and he doesn't have them. So they rescue him, the mobsters, and are like, okay, get us the diamonds. And so Bond is like, okay, got to get the real diamonds. He heads over to Vegas, where he's supposed to deliver the diamonds at some point to that smuggler, the Vegas performer. And in the meantime, he's kind of tooling around Vegas, and witnesses, or more or less witnesses, Wynton Kidd, the assassins, also kill that smuggler, that performer, without knowing that the diamonds had not yet made it all the way up. So they've killed the person in line to pick up the diamonds, and now they have to figure out how to get the diamonds to the next step, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they do. And at this point, Bond's enjoying himself, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, he's got all kinds of
Vegas.
stuff.
I'm gonna go play some craps, do whatever, man.
And he's kind of being tricky with all this stuff, right? Because he's just going along in like the guise of this Franks guy, but otherwise it's like, it's a diamonds thing, whatever. Just make sure we don't lose the diamonds, and we're okay. So he's like playing craps. He basically pulls Plenty O'Toole. No big deal. This is the American Bond girl who's kind of loud and brash and like super into him immediately because he's more or less the best at craps. He's just like, ever heard of it? Craps, ladies, my Mercedes. And Plenty O'Toole's like, yeah, I'm into it.
Well, because he comes down, he flexes some big stacks. He says,
oh yeah,
what? It's like a $2,000 limit game. He's like, I want to put 10 grand down. They're like, sir.
They're like, no, and then he shows them.
Yeah, he's like, check
who he is.
this out.
And they're like,
Where'd
yeah,
you
okay,
get that, Bond? What's going on here?
Right.
Crazy
And so then, but
She
then
was easily the most annoying Bond girl I've ever seen.
yeah, but I thought she was. I was shocked at how she never showed up again and basically was gone after a second.
It was. I mean, maybe what was she in it? Even 5 minutes?
Barely, yeah, and not really. Because they go up to the room and they're going to clearly bone for sure. And at this point, Bond would take his dick out, but he's not on a submarine yet. And it's like, I'm part of Her Majesty's Secret Service, so I should probably hold off. And she's like, I understand. But then the mobsters, they ambush him and are basically like, like throw her out the window
Yeah.
into a pool, straight out the window. And
I think
Tiffany
they
Case
call
is
this.
there.
This is a classic case of what's referred to as cock blocking, if I'm
Yeah,
not
for sure.
mistaken.
Well, technically it's not, because then they're like, get us the diamonds, and then he walks into the bedroom and there's Tiffany Case ready
True.
to
Yeah, I guess.
take the place. Yeah. So they're kind of like they're blocking, but then
Yeah,
you
they're
know.
like, hey, we know you want this one. We're gonna literally throw her out of 10 stories up into a pool.
Right.
Here's this over here. Like,
right. So
you mentioned the guy didn't realize there was even a pool down there.
yeah, that's right. He's like, nice.
Yeah,
Because what did Bond say when she landed? Nice aim. He's like, oh, I didn't even know there was a pool. Like,
Yeah.
that's savage, man.
Yeah, man.
Just chuck somebody out of that high up.
yeah. So then they set up this whole scheme. Okay, fine. I'll get you the diamonds. Bond meets with the FBI and it's like, okay, I'm setting it all up. So Tiffany Case is going to basically get a prize at the Circus Casino, which is all set up like a circus, and going to grab this with the real diamonds. She's going to be tailed, and that way they won't lose it. But she's too tricky and is able to escape with the diamonds and passes them on without Bond or the FBI really being able to know. And so Bond shows up at her house where she's staying, and Tiffany Case is kind of like shocked because not only is he sitting there and he's like, oh, I guess you decided not to, meet up with me and reneged on our deal, but also there's Plenty O'Toole dead in the pool, having been mistaken for Tiffany Case. And it's basically like, yeah, so that's an issue. Yeah, they're after you. You were going to be killed. You're only lucky that someone else was here that they mistook for you. So we better be on the same page now and figure out what's going on with these diamonds, because you screwed me and now we're both screwed. So let's go. And so she's basically like, okay, we can tail them, and they're able to. How do they actually get on the trail of the car? I'm forgetting this, but they end up following the car that has the diamonds in it with the in like the prize that she won at Circus.
Well,
I don't know how they caught
I
up with
can't
them.
really remember, honestly. It was really, this is all kind of just a cluster that was going on at this point.
Yeah, because they're following them, and then there's an exchange of the diamonds, at which point Sean Connery or James Bond, he sneaks into the back of the van that has the diamonds in it.
And this is literally the most insane, well, maybe not the most insane, but this is one of the most insane things in this. So I can't remember, what's her name?
Tiffany Case.
Tiffany Case
Yeah.
blocks his van from leaving. Another guy pulls up behind the van, and so the van can't get out. James Bond literally goes in between the back of the van and then the car, where there's a guy clearly sitting watching what he's doing.
I know, yeah.
And he sneaks into the back of the van, and the other guy's just like,
Yeah,
I mean, maybe be
makes
like
sense.
now, like, what would we do? I mean, like, I don't know what the hell that was, but that guy just snuck in that van. Sucks for that
Right.
driver, whatever.
I have no idea. I thought the same thing. There was a guy like literally looking at James Bond as he snuck into the back of that van.
I know, really strange.
Yeah. So, anyways, this van heads off and goes out into the desert to a remote, like a research facility, where he's able to kind of finagle his way in past like security and stuff like that, and gets into where all the diamonds are, which is like it's like a lab with this guy, a professor who's like a specialist in lasers, obviously lasers and diamonds, lasers. Makes sense. And this professor's like super annoyed at Bond. He's like, get out of here. But Bond is getting all the info he needs. And it's like, okay, got it. He leaves, and immediately they're like, oh shit, that was not the person we thought it was. And they set the alarm off. And all of a sudden he's running through some weird like research about the moon where everyone's like moving slow. And it was like,
All right.
it's weird.
I interpreted
I
that
get it.
scene as they were filming the moon landing. Or was that a research thing? I thought that's what it was.
I think that was a research.
It was a research thing because
Oh.
it seemed like the moon buggy was the research thing that was in there. I just didn't understand why people were moving so slowly.
I liked it better if it was him crashing the moon landing.
Yeah, the staging of the moon landing. That's what I thought it was too.
He escapes in this moon buggy and busts out into the desert, and it's basically like crushing a bunch of people with this like crazy moon buggy.
This thing's
And then-
indestructible.
And then is able to get onto this tiny little motorbike. There's a bunch of like tiny motorbikes chasing after him, and he jumps on one of those things too. Really, a really, really good transportation movie. If you think about it, like hovercraft, tiny motorcycles, moon buggy, small
Mini
submarine. Yeah,
There's a lot
really
of stuff
good.
going on. Yeah.
I mean,
Not
just
to
like
mention
just weird
traditional
ones.
cars. I mean, we got that.
I mean, it's going to be. I mean, this is going to cover a lot of seasons. Moon buggy season, hovercraft season. Although there's probably a number of films in the hovercraft.
I bet
season,
there's
if you
a
really
lot of
think about it.
hovercraft movies. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good season. But yeah, moon buggy seasons. I guess there's probably a few in there too. Anytime they're on the moon, right?
Yeah.
Armageddon. That's a pretty good one. Anyways.
Oh yeah.
So anyways, they are able to escape, elude, and then later
Wait,
that night
they didn't go to the moon in
they
Armageddon.
didn't go to the. I know, but they were on a
Oh
moon
man.
buggy, specialized moon buggies. I mean, we can argue about
Is it a
this on the
moon-
Moon Buggy podcast. This is going to be like a main sticking point probably for us.
Yeah, is it a moon buggy if it's on Mars?
I think so. That's my opinion.
No. Change the
Okay.
name.
Wow. Okay. So it's a
Mars
buggy. Tough. It's tough. Buggy podcast just doesn't work that very well. Anyways, they put out the APO or whatever APB on the on James Bond in his car, and so the police are all after him when they head back into Vegas. And there's a huge chase, kind of a fun scene of him like evading the police officers, and is able to crash all the police officers and escape from Vegas again.
Did you guys notice how many times they drove past the Golden Nugget?
Yeah, like a million.
Yeah.
Did they? I
Like,
wasn't paying attention.
They're having a chase through the streets of Vegas, but at the time, I mean, it really was just old Vegas, and they were just now starting to spread out into New Vegas, which would have been like Circus and a few others.
Right.
And old Vegas, I mean, it's just Fremont Street. Like, there's like, I don't know, a block of.
Right.
I mean, it's really cool, but they just kept driving past the Golden Nugget. It was really funny.
It was kind of.
attention.
It was a little bit weird if you're paying attention to it because people
Yeah.
are crowded along the streets, which makes sense. Like it even makes sense within the movie, right? Obviously, if you're driving around a big chase scene in Las Vegas, people are going to be staring in real life or watching a movie being filmed. So that makes sense. But then when they had to do like scenes where they'd go up on the sidewalk and around, there would just be this giant gap of no people for no reason, not standing on that portion of the sidewalk where the car had to go onto it. You're like, well, that looks fake now.
And there was also like
something out about that.
no other traffic to speak of.
Yeah, and then So, they do a bunch of fun stuff. They crash these cars. They do some jumps. They even at one point gets on the side of the wheel and drives through like a tiny alleyway, and that kind of stuff. So
Can you imagine how much that must have cost to shoot that and shut down Vegas?
That's
on,
probably
like,
why
a
they
night
just
like
kept going past the Golden Nugget. They're like, we've got this for like.
But that's
6
all there is
hours.
to it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you're shutting down all of Vegas almost at that point to shoot this scene. It was pretty cool. That was the MythBusters actually did an episode with part of this car chase, because this car chase is one where Bond kicks his tire up on like a stairwell and drives his car on one wheel with his car kind of inverted vertically and drives through a really narrow alleyway, which was pretty cool. Obviously, I don't think very, very possible, but it was pretty cool to watch.
Did you watch the MythBusters episode?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they disproved it because it completely changes your steering and stuff. And you start just driving in a circle, I think, or something like that.
I don't know. I've seen television shows where they've done it. Anyways,
I think this is where it all started, which is kind of cool. I think this is where it all started, which is neat to see.
Yep. So then later that night, Bond, being all like suave, is like, okay, well, I'll see you later to Tiffany Case. And then he's like, boop, 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 and like walks out, gets on top of an elevator, and immediately scales up into the private area of the person who owns the hotel. This guy named Willard White, who seems to be connected to the research place. And so he's going to confront him and find out, what are you using these diamonds for? And when he gets up there, after doing some fancy maneuvering to get up there, what does he find? Bum, bum, bum. It's not Willard White at all. It's Blofeld.
No way.
And he's there, and there's two Blofelds, double Blofeld. I wouldn't call them twins because it's a perversion of twins. They made himself a twin by creating a double through plastic surgery. Nay, I say
that's
no.
Right. You were trying to tell me this wasn't a twin movie, but actually,
no.
You could have made the argument for it. Oh,
I don't know if there's any
Dutch.
genetic modification going on.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Dutch.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll find some twins in that movie.
Yeah. So, and he used an electronic device to sound like White, which is really weird. It was like a electronic device that at one point he claimed it was like in his throat, but then another it was like it's like in the phone. But it was all weird. I didn't get this technology at this point. But Blofeld, I mean Bond kills one of the Blofelds, but because he uses the cat to determine the cat jumped on that Blofeld's lap, so it must be Blofeld and kills him. But then turns out to be look like you got it wrong.
That scene was trash. You remember when he shot him in the head, and then it like camera looked at him for like 2 seconds, and then he reacted. It was really bizarre.
Also, what's bizarre is at this point, Blofeld's sitting there with James Bond sitting in front of him, and it's basically like, James Bond, I could 100% shoot you. No big deal. Don't even worry about it. No one would ever know, and my plan would go off without a hitch. But instead, you get out there, and he lets him go into the elevator where he's knocked out by gas, picked up by the assassins anyways. It's not like he wasn't going to kill him.
Yeah.
Picked up by the assassins, taken out to the desert, and then put into a random pipeline or not, and where they put the pipeline in the ground.
I mean, somehow don't notice James inside of this, like what was it, like a 10-foot long pipe.
And then it's like, that's going to kill him. He won't be able to get out of that pipe. He wakes up. There's like a machine coming towards him. He hops on this machine, breaks it. That sends an alert. They open up, the repairmen open up an area in the pipeline. He just walks out. It's like, that was a terrible plan. Just kill him. I don't understand. If they're going to put the thing, what you do is you kill him and then put him in the pipe, and then the pipe goes in, and now his body's buried forever.
Yeah.
No big deal.
And again, still assuming that no one's going to see him in this, like a 10-foot long section of pipe. I mean, there's so many angles where these construction workers would see him in the pipe.
It was truly bizarre. I was like, just kill him all. Like, why do you need such an elaborate plan in this point? Even the previous plan would have been a better one. Just put a scorpion in his suit or throw him into an incinerator. No big deal.
Yeah, bring him anywhere in the desert and bury him yourself.
Yeah, so weird. Anyways, Bond just like walks out. He calls up Blofeld using Q, who gets like a special device all hooked up for him to sound like his assassin assistant. And so that's fine. We're right there because Blofeld's like, okay, fine, I agree. Willard White, who we've captured and has locked up, is too much of a risk now. Go and kill him. Here's the location. And so Bond goes over there. He has this kind of weird battle with a couple of female bodyguards, Bambi and Thumper. Not really sure what that was about either.
There was a very popular cartoon named Bambi. There's a rabbit named Thumper.
A little bit.
Gotcha.
I had literally, that was so out of left field. When she said my name's Bambi, I was like, okay. And then the other one said my name's Thumper. I was like, what the hell kind of reference are we dealing with right now?
That was bizarre. And they have a bunch of, it's a fight and stuff like that. And the fight's fine. But then they end up in the pool and he's basically drowning these two ladies. And the FBI comes in and is like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop drowning them. Where is he? And they go down, they pick up Willard White, who does almost get killed again. There's an assassin there who tries to kill him, but unsuccessfully. And then White kind of lays out like, well, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? And Bond's like, well, it must be in one of your locations. It could be here, or Baja Peninsula. And he's like, I don't have anything over there, or Baja California. And they're like, oh, that's where it must be. And so they head out to there where Blofeld is doing his final plot of using these diamonds in a special laser satellite, and which they weren't able to stop from launching. So it's up in the air already. And Bond, what does he fly out of a helicopter or whatever in a giant inflatable ball? It's real weird.
It is really strange. Have we talked about how they showcase the satellites and lasers yet? Has that happened at this point?
Where it's going around the Earth?
Yes. Well, but they showed what can be done with it.
I don't know. Sure. Remind me.
This is our first instance of a sub when Blofeld's showing off what the laser can do.
Yeah, so it's up there, and you're right. And it just like disappeared. Basically, he destroys a bunch of stuff with it to start, right? He destroys that submarine. He destroys a couple other things, I think,
Yeah.
right? Oh, yeah. He destroys a bunch of weapons in different countries, basically to show them, hey, I control things now. So China, Soviet Union, United States, you don't have, your weapons are meaningless because I got the satellite. And yeah, it's a Soviet Union submarine that he destroys first.
And I mean, you see that thing in the water, and it turns bright red. And we don't even see it explode, do we?
No,
There's
yes,
just
we
the
do. We see
water
it
Yeah,
bubble
explode.
above
up?
the water, they have a really bad CGI.
Yeah,
explosion.
there's a couple really bad CGI explosions that they should have invested a little more in for this.
Yeah. So there's one last final code about the final destruction of Washington D.C. or whatever. That's on a cassette tape. So what Bond needs to do is he needs to switch the cassette tapes, and that way the final launch won't actually happen. And so he does a bunch of tricky stuff here. He's like taken in by Blofeld. It's like, oh, I was trying to stop you, but you foiled my plan. And Blofeld's like, ha ha ha, let me show you around and show you exactly what my plan is. And so he explains exactly what's happening, and Bond pretends to kind of mess with the cassette tape and pops it out. And it's like, oh, oops, I dropped it. And Blofeld's like, put it back in. And so they watch him put it back in, but he's
Which is ridiculous, right? Yeah. Why would you let him know where that is?
Why would you let him even play around with stuff? And also, why is he still alive?
That's a very good question.
Yeah. So anyways, he's like, haha, I got it. And as he walks out, he gives over to Tiffany Case, who's been captured by Blofeld, the tape. And so everything starts to go to shit.
Mainly because they said take him away, search him one more time, and then kill him. So he's going to get searched, so he has to hide it somewhere.
Right. And gives it over to Tiffany. And so while everything's going to shit, Tiffany and Bond meet up again. And Tiffany's like, oh, I did it. I was able to switch the tapes. And he's like, oh, shit, really? Like, you just switched it.
He called her a name.
A twit? Was that what he said?
Adult or twit, yeah, something like that.
I was like,
and
you got to love
so while everything's going crazy, Blofeld's like, okay, time to escape as well. While we're doing this, how do they actually stop the? How do they stop the satellite? I guess it's with the sub, right? As he's escaping.
They use the wrecking ball.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, I don't know, because I think as Blofeld's trying to escape in a specialized midget submarine, and he is trying to escape in this thing, and Bond is able to get control of it and crashes the submarine into the control room and destroys everything. So I think he destroys both Blofeld, the submarine, and the satellite controls all in one foul swoop.
Yeah, Blofeld ain't dead though, but
no, sure, I'm sure.
Dude, he's never dead. And
so then Bond and Tiffany, they head off on a cruise to head back to Great Britain. Very long cruise, if you know what I mean. Ew. And Wint and Kidd, they show up as room service stewards and attempt to kill them with a hidden bomb. And then they get into a bunch of fisticuffs. And what does he do? He shoves the bomb into one of their pants or whatever, and they explode. I don't know. It's all crazy.
Yeah, really weird. He just makes him hold it, and then he pulls his arms through.
He gives him
his
a wedgie,
groin,
right?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Shoves him off the boat with the bomb. The other guy gets incinerated.
Oh, that's right. He gets
there's a really weird scene. Yeah, there's a really weird reaction from Tiffany Case where she sees him coming at him with the flaming skewers, and she goes, "Eek!"
Yeah. And then at the end, Tiffany and Bond, they're smooching, and they look up into the sky and they go, "How are we gonna get those diamonds?" The end.
Diamonds are forever.
Yeah, that's it, man.
They don't leave in the night.
Diamonds are forever. Sir Sean Connery.
He's our diamond.
He is.
It's true.
Our diamond
is forever.
But yeah, that's that movie.
It is.
Eek!
I'm glad you brought that up, because when there's so many of those moments, they start to blend. You're like, my God.
Really, it was fine. I feel like The Spy Who Loved Me was way cheesier, and this was doing okay. Other than some of the Wint and Kidd scenes, which I kind of went back and forth. What is the term? vacillate. I kept going back and forth whether I like these guys or they're a little too hokey or
Right.
they're too cartoonish. I mean, at some point, like it was ratcheted up so much that I actually kind of enjoyed their presence there.
No, I
It felt-
I would agree with that. I enjoyed their presence. I was just a little frustrated with they keep on outdoing James Bond, which is fine. It's fine for assassins. They're supposed to be very good assassins, so why not? But then to be so bad at actually killing people seems like a
I
shame.
know. Especially,
I think they just like doing it in unconventional ways.
Well, yeah, because I mean, there were many times in this where literally anyone, it wouldn't even have to be Kid and Win or Wint. What's his name?
Wint.
Yeah,
Wint.
yeah.
There are other just people even without names who have guns on James Bond, especially when he's on that oil rig. That just could have been like, this guy's out of hand. Like, let's just shoot him. But
Right.
nobody does. Nobody tries.
Yep.
I don't get it. But yeah, when Kid is walking over with those skewers that are on fire and it's like really slow on him, I was like, and it's like
It's a crazy part. Like that's that guy's best idea.
Yeah,
That's his best idea.
I know. Like this is it.
You're gonna what?
Yeah.
You can just do anything else other than what he did.
But it's a great part. It's a great part for my next podcast, which is just about full body burns, stunt. And
that'd be a good
I
one.
was very happy to see it. I love full body burns, and there's just not enough of them nowadays.
I mean, dude, he got lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah. Yep.
Man.
Yep. Yeah, he did.
Let's do this thing.
Let's review these.
Who's jumping in?
Zach's reviewing it first.
All right, I'll do it. I don't want to. I don't want to, but I'll do it just for you, Ben.
You're champion.
Such a. Ah! It makes me so angry. But this movie doesn't. Diamonds Are Forever. What a great James Bond flick. I have seen this one numerous times. I really like this movie. I have good memories of watching it on a nice Saturday afternoon with my grandpa. It's probably so the nostalgia hits hard with me for this specific one. Love the theme song. Love Sean Connery. This is a goofier one in my own personal opinion. I feel like Roger Moore could have been this kind of a Bond in this type of a gimmicky kind of goofy movie. But I liked it. What was it, 2 hours? Ugh. Yeah, maybe like 15 minutes shorter would have been like a sweet spot. But no, I mean, I liked it. But, this is sub podcast, sub territory. Not a lot of sub, not a lot of good sub. But it's Sean.
Sure.
7.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Here we go.
I'm gonna do something different this time. I'm gonna jump in second. And
Really?
I kind of agree. I agree with pretty much all your points. All of them. I liked it. I thought the tone was pretty good. I was like enjoying myself. Could have been 15 minutes shorter. I actually felt like the end started to drag a little bit. I liked it up to that point, but at a certain point I was like, we still have 30 minutes left. Like, come on. Like, you could be faster. But otherwise, I was enjoying myself. And yeah, I just do wish there was a little bit more. This definitely could have been a mini pod. Obviously not lengthwise. We've gotten on forever. But the amount of submarine that's in this is so small that we really didn't have to do, too much just from a submarine point of view on this movie. So that's kind of a disappointment. But otherwise, I was enjoying myself, even though it's a little bit of a sillier Bond film from those. And maybe that's good. Maybe it's good. So I was going to come in at 7 as well, and come in at 7.
Boom! Fist bump that.
Seriously.
Hey-o.
Couple 7s.
Damn.
Man. Brom, you want to go next? You want me to go next?
That is your decision. You're the captain.
Okay. I
Standing
want
by,
to hear what
awaiting
you
your
got to
word.
say. I want to hear what you got to say. I'm not going to let any of this
Wow,
color my review.
Okay. Well, I don't think I'm gonna be too much different from Zach and Jamie here. I generally enjoyed this Bond film. They're pretty hit or miss for me, and I'd say this was more hits for me. I enjoyed the locale. I'm a big Vegas guy. Love Vegas, the casinos, the sand, the showgirls, the prostitution,
Your
venereal
favorite
disease.
things.
I love it.
That was outside
Love it
city
all.
limits.
The car chase scene I mentioned brought me back to watching this back as a child, and then of course the Mythbusting is such an iconic scene. And again, we talked about Wint and Kid. I thought they were interesting, unique Bond villains. I thought they ended up being a fun pair of Bond villains. I don't really remember a whole lot of Ernst Stavro Blofeld stuff, so I remember reading a lot about that. Doing my fun facts on who's a gentleman that died also this year. Played Ernst Stavro Blofeld. I did the fun facts on him. He was in the one with the Command.
Oh, Max von Sydow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sydow, yeah.
Yeah. So I couldn't remember much about Ernst Stavro Blofeld, so I was excited to see an Ernst Stavro Blofeld portrayal. And like we mentioned, I mean, for the most part, it actually wasn't overly hokey. I feel like there were less of the really lame sexual innuendos that there were in The Spy Who Loved Me. I did not enjoy The Spy Who Loved Me. This one steered clear of a lot of that. I mean, there's still a little bit, and you got to have a little bit, or else it's not James Bond. Good action scenes, some really bad Deus Ex Machina moments, really confusing decisions by the villains at times. But I mean, that's what Bond's always been. It's always been a little over the top and far-fetched, and you got to kind of watch a few of these to be reminded of that's just what James Bond is. And this was just perfect James Bond essence, and we got to see Sean Connery on full display. And he's our guy, and I got to give him credit. I'm going to give this a 6.5.
6.5. Couple
Solid.
7s. I'll bring up the rear here. Call me the caboose. Whatever you want.
Caboose.
Yeah, buddy.
Definitely change the opening theme song.
The caboose. So, diamonds are forever, man.
Sure.
Diamonds are forever. I immediately had questions in my mind. I think I brought it up when MI6 was getting involved with some kind of diamond operation to stop the flooding of the diamond market. Immediately I was like, what are we doing here? And eventually it did end up playing out, so that was fine. Sean Connery's acting great. He's awesome. I liked the fight scenes, especially with him and Franks in the elevator and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. We had a lot of car chase scenes, some unnecessary and some just kind of long. I liked it better when I thought that what they busted into was the filming of the moon landing. I like that. And you guys just wrecked that for me, so that's fine.
It still could have been. Yeah, could have been.
There was no explanation on it. Kid and Wint. I mean, Mr. Kid had this clutch hair. I don't know what you call it, like a skullet type thing, maybe. I don't know really what it was. So good.
It looked like a cocker spaniel or something.
Yeah, it was pretty great. The fact that he got lit on fire, and then their death at the end was so bizarre. Also, I don't even really know what they were doing when I was watching. I was like, I don't know who these guys are, other than that they're killing people, doing whatever. And we talked so much about the situations that Bond gets into where someone could easily just pop a cap in him and he's done. But nobody does that. It's always insane. And I don't know. It was long. I thought it was long. I thought there was a lot of unnecessary stuff. And I'm just going to... You guys are going to hate me for it, but I'm going to give this I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sean. I'm going to give it like a 3.75.
Boo!
Wow.
Boo!
Yeah.
Boo!
That is
No. Vote him off. Get Kyle out. That is such a wrong answer, dude.
You guys
Yeah.
talked me up from a 6. I was coming in with with a 6 for this one. And
This is all a conspiracy theory by Kyle. He wants to get kicked off the podcast so that he can get his sweet PlayStation time.
Yeah, that's all he wants. Joke's on you, Kyle.
I failed to mention
Never.
great song
Keeping
too,
me
Diamond
up.
Forever. It's a classic. John Barry, that's the composer, right? It's a
The
classic.
song is
Bond.
great. Yes.
All right. We heard all of our we heard the 3 of our sophisticated answers, and we've heard one pile of shit.
Right.
Now let's hear from
Love it. Dun, 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 dun. I hate it. Dude, I was working on an auto-tune
Whoa.
for you for that.
you keep talking, but I'm not seeing results.
I know, man. I got to get it right. I got to get it so it's so good. You know?
It's like you're giving me updates. Like it's like I gave you a bunch of money and you're giving me updates on like a product. Like you keep telling me, no, man, the hoverboard's gonna work. Just I'm working on it. I'm like, okay.
I turn around to my friends, like, guys, I got no fucking
I
idea.
know.
when
Yeah,
that's
you
gonna
like
be
blew it
done.
all the first night.
Like, dude, I played craps, double or nothing.
Got a Corvette, drove it into a pole, flee the scene. Anyways, love it, hate it. What do we want to hear first?
Let's do hate it. Let's end on a high note.
Oof. Okay. This is a 1 out of 10. Hate it. Unbelievably lousy. This is coming from Jose PHP Turner, February 2009. I'm an old man of 58 who saw this when it first came out. I think I remember thinking it was okay. I watched it and other Bond film again because I could see them in HD. I'm sort of amazed at how weak and lazy this film was. Just a fraction of creativity of the first 4 Bond films. Dr. No, Goldfinger, From Russia with Love, and Thunderball. When I say fraction, I mean about a tenth as good. In those earlier films, you could see some success jumping into fantasy land and imagining being part of the action and suspense, so to speak. In this film, you'd fall asleep even trying. Connery had gained so much weight and looked so old that he is unbelievable as a carrier of 00 designation. All I can say is, gee, I wish I could have make as much money in my life as Connery did here and give almost nothing to customer to earn it. Finally, I liked seeing Jill St. John in high def.
Ooh.
Actually, my main reason to watch this. She is extremely attractive here.
That's true.
She's about 68 years now.
Yep.
I wonder if she is still a 10 for that age category.
Well, for the age category.
Wow.
1 out of 10.
Well, we got a real
Love
lady.
it.
Oh, that sounds more like a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, that was a weird one. This one is love it. Coming
It's a
from
wild ride.
our guy, Keenan Draft,
Oh,
man.
October 2000. Worst Connery Bond film.
10 out of 10.
This was the worst Connery Bond film, but not the worst Bond film, which is reserved for Man with a Golden Gun.
Ooh.
Connery, for some reason, looks older than today. I suspect he got caught up with some kind of substance abuse
Oh my God.
during that time period that affected his looks.
It's all speculation
Speculation.
at this point, right?
This is all speculation.
Also, the film was done
Speculation,
cheaply.
hearsay.
The film was done cheaply, probably because the money went to Connery in order to lure his big name back into the role.
I don't think that's a probably. I think that's well known.
But I also suspect the producers also meant to ruin Connery by making him look bad, to convince people in the long run that it would be better to look for some new stud to play Bond because Connery was no longer the same man. The plan worked big time. Meanwhile, Moore took care of himself, and despite being 3 years older than Connery, actually looked 10 years younger during the same time period because Moore's ambition was to inherit that role for quite a while. Still, compared to the other action movies overall, the worst Bond movies still count as one of the best. 10 out of 10.
Damn.
There we go.
There's a lot of
It's a roller coaster ride.
a lot of conspiracy theory type stuff in there. I'm enjoying it. I think it's exciting. Yeah,
All right,
I mean, we talked about it. Like the CGI looked like trash on those explosions. They could have spent, like, I don't know, $30 more, whatever, made it look a little bit more real. But I don't know.
And I loved the satellite, and that was the second time we saw it. We had just seen it in that other movie.
Which one?
Oh, we just saw it in. I have it here, right here. Stealth Fighter.
An EMP. Yeah.
Oh,
I see. It was shooting all over the place with laser beams. And that movie, too. They just reused it. But anyways, I'm going to do something a little different. Instead, they have a huge trivia thing on IMDb. And I'm like, forget it. I only have eyes for one thing. And that's this piece of trivia for you guys. The original plot had Gert Frobe returning as Auric Goldfinger's twin from Goldfinger, seeking revenge for the death of his brother. The character was a Swedish billionaire with a laser mounted on a super tanker. A little bit of twin connection, a little twin trivia for all you out there getting ready for twin immersion.
now
And then
that was the original plot.
as I said, original plot had Auric Goldfinger's twin
God, dude,
seeking
that'd be
revenge.
so good with a laser mounted on a tank.
It's true. And then just a little bit of casting what ifs. So George Lazenby was asked to make a second Bond film, but declined because of the contract. It would have been very restrictive and a long contract if he had done it. Then they wanted Burt Reynolds. This is something that had come up, I think is kind of well known, but was unavailable. And that would have been crazy. Burt Reynolds is James Bond.
Can't even imagine that.
No. And then
Can't either.
John Gavin was signed on, and he had played a French spy, OSS 117, was actually signed for the movie. And then Adam West turned on the role because he didn't think it made sense that he would play James Bond. Michael Gambon turned it down because he was in terrible shape and felt like he couldn't play James Bond.
Like, look, I can't possibly get fit enough to do that. I got other shit going on.
So then at the last minute, Sean Connery agreed to return for a very large salary at the time, over $1 million. And on top of that, Albert Broccoli, the producer, insisted that John Gavin, who had signed a contract to play Bond, be paid his salary. So they were already behind the 8 ball by quite a bit in terms of how much money the movie was going to cost. And it's interesting because you have this whole thing and they're going through all these people and they missed a name. Guys, you know who else was up for this role?
Mr. Something?
Ned Beatty Harris.
Ned Beatty Harris. It's true. And he was going to play not an American James Bond, because everyone knows that Harris is actually German, but a German James Bond with a deep German accent, like Ed Harris's natural accent. And do you know what his they were going to try to set him apart a little bit from Sean Connery? Do you know how they were going to do that?
Lather him up in grease.
So yeah, so like usually James Bond is like all like dapper in a tuxedo and he's like shaken, not stirred. Whatever, don't even worry about it. That's my James Bond impression. Ed Harris, instead, he'd be shirtless, all greased up, and his wouldn't be a martini. It would be a Coors Light that he would slam, and then he'd go,
Dude,
"That's right, baby, James Bond forever." That was gonna be his catchphrrase.
My kind of movie right there. I'd watch that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a missed opportunity, really.
They could still do it. Can you imagine now?
Yeah, that's
Ed
true.
Harris now make that movie. Be like,
Grease him up.
dude, they could throw him
I'm ready for
in like a Kingsman type thing. Put him in the
Kind of
mix
like
there.
Kingsman.
Those are good movies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I feel
and
like there's gotta
then
be trash drink than Coors Light.
Coors Light, get out of here. Love Coors Light. But then
I feel like it's
in
a little bit
memory
lowbrow.
of Alex Trebek also passed away, I am doing a Jeopardy round for you guys. The title of the round is Diamonds Are Forever. Okay, you ready for this?
Mhm.
It's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Who gave it the lowest? That would be Kyle, like an idiot.
Yeah.
What number do you want?
Let's climb up, man. Let's go 100.
100. If you are born in this month, the diamond is your traditional birthstone. No fooling.
Buzz, buzz, buzz.
Yep.
What is April?
Very good. April. Ding, ding, ding.
Nice.
You picked up on the hint.
Then no fooling. Yeah.
No
I was like,
fooling.
is anybody else going to get that?
All right, Brom, you're up next. What do you want? 200, 300, 400, 500?
200, please.
Stolen in 1792, but later stolen in 1792, but later recovered. The Regent Diamond is on display in this French museum.
The Louvre?
Yes, very good. Ding, ding, ding. All right, Zachary, 300, 400, or 500?
Let's do it.
300?
Yeah.
Carol Channing introduced the song Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend in this Broadway musical in 1949.
Let's say, maybe I'll say, maybe it's
Podcasting.
pass.
Okay.
I think I know it. I think I know it.
Kyle, what is it?
Breakfast at Tiffany's?
It is not Breakfast at Tiffany's. Sorry.
Dang it.
It is not.
You
Brom,
said
get
it's a
guess
Broadway
right now.
music?
It is a Broadway musical from 1949.
It's got to be like Chicago or something.
It's not. It is Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. That's
I
it.
never would have guessed that.
No.
Never.
All right, so now you guys have to buzz in for the 400, 500. So 400. One of the plane surfaces of a cut diamond, the brilliant cut, has 58. Yep.
Facet?
Yes, very good. Look at that. Brom coming in hot.
What?
And then
Heck, who's that guy?
And then 500, a 41.94 carat diamond is named for this emperor. We assume his wife, Carlota, was mad about it. All right, we'll let that hang for a second, but that's going to be the end of that one. So there's a couple hints here. One was mad about it, and then wife Carlota. So wife Carlota, maybe a little bit of hint, was mad about it. I'm wondering if they're alluding to maybe Mad Max, because it's Maximilian. Talking about Mexico, Emperor of Mexico. All right, and then I don't think we really have to do much, but hit that Phantom Zone.
Engage the Phantom.
Phantoms engaged, sir.
Come on, it's Sean Connery. Come on,
It is.
come on,
Whoop.
come on.
Is that it? Is that all you're doing for it?
Yeah, that's it. Sean Connery. It's easy.
Wonderful.
Get out of here.
Wonderful.
Drop the mic.
I do have something tonight. It's worldwide.
A long time since we got a nice edit to jive with what your actual topic is.
I know, and it's not. I'm not even doing subs tonight. But I'll have to do that again. I know what you're talking about, man. Last time I did Ferraris worldwide, scared my neighbors when I was out there revving up that sweet Mercury Mariner. But
I was
Tonight.
sick, dude.
tonight, we've got diamonds worldwide. So I feel like an idiot for missing that last question, Jamie. Because I've got something here that references that. Movies Diamonds Are Forever. And diamonds, man, whatever. Let's just get into it. I found some interesting facts about them. This is from Brilliant Earth, an article titled 15 Amazing Facts About Diamonds from Celeste Perron, written on March 31st, 2019. So I didn't know this. I didn't know where they formed, but how far underneath ground do you guys think diamonds form?
5 miles.
Okay.
7.5.
Okay.
I would guess extremely far, but then also at the beginning of this movie, we saw the Africans and there was like natural light pouring in.
Natural light does pour in when you tip the can.
I don't know.
He's confused.
1,000 meters.
What? You're going meters? Okay, 1,000 meters?
Yeah.
Damn it, Brom.
I'm from Britain.
Well,
Jolly good.
Good, I might.
yeah.
Throw another
Anyways,
Bobby.
Shrimp on the Barbie.
all right. Diamonds
Let's-
form 100 miles below the Earth's surface.
100 miles.
Wow.
100 miles below the Earth's surface.
That's a lot of
How do
miles.
we get these suckers?
That's a very good question, Brom.
It's probably got to be coming out in like mountains and volcanoes are made. or something,
Volcanoes.
right?
Volcanic activity, guys. Look at you. You guys have got it figured out. And so I did a little bit more reading on this, and I found an article by Hobart M. King, PhD, RPG, and it's titled "How Do Diamonds Form?" From geology.com. So you know it's legit. Not just anyone can have a website, right? You have to pay for one. And the depths and temperature, well, the depth creates the pressure, and then the temperature has to be like at least 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. For overseas listeners, that is 1,050 degrees Celsius. And this doesn't happen just literally anywhere under the Earth's surface at 100 miles down. It actually usually takes place on the stable interior sections of continental plates. And something that I also found interesting is, I guess that question could be a little misleading with where they formed. I mean, that's where they're usually formed, but they also could be formed at the surface of the Earth with an asteroid impact. Temperature and pressure can be great enough to form them, and diamonds have been discovered at crash sites. And ironically enough, I guess we can also make them ourselves in labs. Usually they're not made for like the jewelry and all that type of stuff. They are usually made for like industrial purposes when you're looking at like diamond tip saw blades and putting diamond dust on stuff to make it harder. But can be made. Takes an incredible amount of energy to get the pressure and temperature where you need it to be. Continuing on with the article from Brilliant Earth, though. The word diamond is derived from the Greek word adamas, meaning invincible. During the Middle Ages, diamonds were thought to have healing properties. The largest diamond ever found was the Cullinan diamond in South Africa, weighing in at 1.33 pounds in 1905. The mine's owner did gift it to King Edward, and when you look at this just massive diamond, they said, hey, why don't we just go ahead and cut that up? So they cut it up into 9 large diamonds and 100 smaller ones. The 3 largest are on display at the Tower of London, part of the Crown Jewels. The first diamond engagement ring was used in 1477 when Archduke Maximilian of Austria said that he wanted all of his friends and every man from that point on to have to spend a lot of money on a rock to get married. So thanks a lot, Archduke Maximilian. We owe you a great debt. And then another couple cool things I found here. I guess you got 2 more. We're gonna head out into space, boys. We're going intergalactic here. So there is a planet, 55 Cancri E. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it is a planet that was discovered in the Milky Way system in 2004. It's mostly a carbon planet, and it is said that that whole planet is 1/3 diamond.
Whoa.
That's
That's a lot of
nuts.
diamond.
A lot of diamonds.
That would
That's a
flood the
lot of
market.
diamonds.
And if that wasn't cool enough, there is a white dwarf star, BPM 37093. And
Oh,
if
of
you're,
course.
I know, everybody knows that one, like the back of their hand. If you're unfamiliar with astronomy terms or whatever, I will really dumb this down because I'm not super great with astronomy. But a white dwarf is essentially when a star burns out and hangs there. But this star has completely crystallized and is a massive diamond. It is an entire diamond, thought to be, I mean, it's probably the largest diamond, at least in the known universe, and it is nicknamed Lucy, after the Beatles song Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Oh, that's not about diamonds, though.
I know. I'm not the one who named it.
Yeah.
I would have named it something sweet, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you named it?
Oh, man.
Darren?
There he is right there, Darren, yeah.
Solid name.
Probably. Yeah, that'd be a good name. Look at this massive diamond, Darren.
I like that, actually.
That is a pretty good name. Or Randy.
Randy.
Yeah, that'd be
Kevin.
good too. Kevin
Kevin
that'd
the
be a good
dog.
one. Yeah.
Oh, that
Oh.
piece of shit dog. Let's not talk about him,
man.
though.
We have
Always
to talk
puts me in a
about him,
bad
right? It's
mood.
been a while, man. What's been going on with Kevin? We haven't talked about him in like ages.
Well, he's definitely put on the COVID-19.
Ooh.
He's looking a little rotund. And but he's hanging in there. Toenails are super long. Can't cut his toenails, or else he will literally vomit and shit everywhere.
Really?
So,
That's savage, man.
yep, you can cut like one toenail at a time, and then you gotta try and get another one the next day.
Dude, you know what you can get like like a Dremel tool, a little rotary tool. You can get those and you get sanding plates and grind them down.
I bet he'd love that.
Yes. He probably would. Well, that's good. Have they had any big medical bills with Kevin? Because my dog keeps racking them up, man. Just one after
Oh
another.
yeah, this dog's a nightmare. He's so pathetic. You almost. I love him. I mean, he's so pathetic. You love him, but
Zach can't even
Jamie's
handle
right.
it.
He's a
like,
piece of shit.
Wow. Wow. Kevin, if you're listening,
Yeah, Kevin.
Brahm's wearing his
Kevin,
heart
if
on
you're
his
out
sleeve
there,
right
bud.
now, man.
I love you, bud, but you got to get your shit together.
Wow. Amazing. Does anybody have Mustard Man is gone? Does anybody have any news? I know I tweeted out that article about a bear getting shot in a submarine, but if anybody had anything else.
I feel like there was something big. I mean, other than the recent deaths, but I thought there was another thing, but I might be wrong.
Sub-related?
Yeah, but I guess maybe
I
not.
say there's been a lot of big things lately, but not necessarily sub-related.
I got nothing.
Yeah, no, I don't
Alright.
think so.
Throw me that sick beat. Tube 3 ready to fire, sir.
Commence the countdown.
Give it to me.
Give it to me. All right. So, got a little fun fact countdown. I don't know. Feels like it's been a while since we had some fun facts. And you guys know I like to throw out a versus fun facts every now and again, where you guys have to tell me who these fun facts belong to. And what better time than to honor the age-long rivalry between Sean Connery and Alex Trebek than to have a little Connery versus Trebek fun facts. So you guys are going to have to tell me who is attributed to each of these fun facts. Number one, this celebrity polished coffins before finding fame.
Polished coffins?
I feel like that's going to be Sean Connery.
Really? I
have no idea.
Instantly went Trebek on it. I was
think
just
it's
like,
Sean Connery.
I think it's Trebek.
All right.
Sean
we're gonna be
Connery.
arguing.
I'm the swing vote. I'm the swing vote.
Okay. Sean Connery swing vote. Thanks for stepping in, Zach, because you just scored a point for the team. It is Sean Connery.
Oh, there we go.
Knew it.
Man.
What else are
Every
you
time I
doing
do
up
this,
there in
Zach's always like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
That's the point. It's fun fact. We got to learn these facts together. The next one here. This celebrity owned a 700-acre horse breeding farm and winery.
Oh,
That
Alex
sounds
Trebek.
good, Becky.
They're
Going
so
Trebek?
sure. Yeah, let's go
Yeah.
Trebek. Yeah.
All right, you guys are 2 for 2. That is Alex Trebek. Next one. This celebrity spent a summer at a Trappist monastery to become a silent priest, but left by summer's end, citing that they felt that they would not be able to take a vow of silence.
Sean Connery.
You think it's
Okay.
Sean Connery? Dude, I
I'll
think.
go with Jamie.
Yeah, I think it's Trebek, man. Trebek seems like more like the guy who would do that. You think Sean Connery would do that?
So that's my thought.
2
I'll go with
votes
Jamie.
Connery. 2 votes Connery. You guys no longer are perfect. It is Alex Trebek.
Gosh, dude, come on. Trebek's like
Lifelong
soft
host.
spoken.
I just thought he was like a full-time TV guy the whole time.
That is wild, though. I didn't know
you
anything
imagine-
about Trebek. I mean, what's this guy doing?
Can you imagine if this wild ride continues for Trebek with this next one? Because this celebrity worked as a nude model for college students before finding
Sean.
fame.
Sean,
it's gotta be Sean
Jonathan Connery.
Sean.
This is Sean Connery, although that would have been a hell of a backstory for Alex Trebek.
My God. He's like, yeah, I used to be a nude model. Now I'm here trying to be a monk, and now I'm going to buy a horse ranch and then host
Make
a
some
TV
wine.
show.
This- This fun fact comes from CNN. Quoted in a 1965 interview as saying, "I don't think there's anything particularly wrong about hitting a woman, although I don't recommend doing it in the same way that you'd hit a man.
That's Sean
An open-handed
Connery.
slap
Sean Connery.
An open-handed slap is justified if all other alternatives fail and there has been plenty of warning."
That's Sean Connery, 100%.
Sean Connery. Yep.
This was on a CNN Fun Facts coinciding with the passing of Sean Connery. That is a Sean Connery fun fact. Thank you, CNN.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just remember people in their best possible light. So
I'll take a hardline stance. CNN, you suck. Next one. This celebrity tried his hand at being a news anchor before finding fame.
I feel like that's
Oh, it's
gotta
gotta
be
be
Trebek.
Trebek. That's gotta be Trebek.
Yep.
That is Alex Trebek. You guys are doing pretty good. What are you? 5 for 6. 2 more. This next one. For many years, his breakfast was a Snickers and Diet Cola.
That is a Trebek special right there.
Is it?
Is it?
Mhm.
All right.
Yes,
I'm
it is.
confident.
I am.
That is the Trebek special. You guys are 6 for
Wow.
7 going into the final fun fact. This one also comes from CNN. This is in a 1987 interview with Barbara Walters. This celebrity said, "I wouldn't change my opinion from 1965. There's nothing particularly wrong with hitting a woman."
I was gonna say this sounds definitely like Sean Connery
Dude,
still.
I really wish that all of that was Alex Trebek, because you'd be like, what the hell is going on with this guy?
Just clue after clue.
Yeah.
It's Alex Trebek.
I could not believe that's Sean Connery. I could not believe that. Like everything else was like legitimate, like fun facts. Like he picked up the role of James Bond, became, won this, Lifetime Achievement Award. And then these were 2 of the fun facts. It's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Especially like over 30 years later, he's like, yeah, whatever, man. I stand, you know what? He stand by what he's saying, right? I mean,
Yeah, doubles down even.
yeah. A lot of people be like, oh man,
I wouldn't
was
change
wrong.
my opinion.
Yeah. Hell no.
But,
right.
you guys did pretty good. 7 of 8. Those are the Connery versus Trebek fun facts. Thank you, gentlemen.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you very much, Ben.
Is that
Whoa,
Elvis?
is that
Elvis?
Elvis just walked in here?
Maybe. The king.
Is it time? Wait, when did you lose your sunglasses, Ben?
I've had them off for a long time. It's hard to
Seriously?
read with those on. Yeah, man.
Where have I been?
It blacks out my screen.
Oh, are they
They're pretty
Polarized?
robust.
all right, man.
I don't know.
Is it time?
It's time.
It's time.
Give it to the guy.
Zach Facts, it's Zach Facts. When you're going down, get some Zach Facts when you're going down.
Look at you with that finger dance.
So
How do you do that? How do
are you
do
joking?
that? No, how do you do it?
Take your
You're
hands,
fucking joking.
you place them together, you move your middle fingers next to each other, and you twist. And then you turn, and then you play.
I can't.
What do you mean you
You're
can't?
joking.
Oh, yeah, I was twisting the wrong way for years.
You got it?
Years? Probably your whole freaking life, Kyle.
I don't really have it. I don't really have it.
No. What was that?
All right.
That's not right.
What do you?
That was not
Your
right.
two middle fingers. Your two middle fingers.
Yeah,
Cross
I have
them.
two
There you
middle
go.
fingers.
Yes. Now keep them crossed, and now rotate your hands. There you go. Yeah,
He
there
did
you
it,
go.
ladies and gentlemen.
He got
He
it.
did it. Yeah.
dude. It is true. You do learn something new every day.
And that's Zach
That's
fact.
amazing.
Boom. Okay, let's get. So in
It
the
just makes it
honor,
so natural.
remembering Sean Connery, the man, the myth, the legend, we are doing a couple internet classic Sean Connery jokes. And these are facts as jokes. Number one. I told Sean Connery I was crushed by a pile of books. He said, I only had my shelf to blame.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
I like that.
Fact
was
number
really
two.
good.
What time does Sean Connery usually arrive at Wimbledon?
At tennis time.
Tennis.
Oh, there we go. I get it. Good one. 2 for 2. Are you getting these off the internet?
I've got them saved. These are some internet classics, and that's a fact.
Oh. I was
Here's the one
thinking
I
you're
got.
like organically coming up with these, which was genuinely impressive.
Oh no, I'm not that
Impossible.
impressive. But
No one
this
could write
next
that.
this next one's a good one. So Daniel Craig and Sean Connery walk into a bar, and what happens? They bond.
Oh,
You wrote that? Yeah, that's one you wrote?
Yeah.
Nice.
You wrote that one, Zach?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that one kind of sucked.
Okay, so I do. Yes, it wasn't as good as the other two, but I still liked it.
Yeah, I appreciate the effort,
Mhm.
but I'm also going to be honest with my friends and say,
Yeah.
don't bring that one up at a bar. Although you're married though, so fuck
Right.
it.
You got
I'll
nobody to impress anymore, man. That's
Yeah.
just how it goes.
I'll give it a B or a B minus for effort.
I'm a
Your
B minus
kids, your
kind of
future
guy.
kids will love that someday.
If I got the sperm.
Well, I mean, I don't know. The kids have to be kind of old to realize much about that
Yeah.
joke.
Pepper it in.
The other
with,
one's the shelf one, though. That shelf one, though, kill it. It's gonna
great.
kill it.
Lead off with that one.
Okay. Are we smashing? Are we done?
That was it.
Oh yeah, that's it.
All right.
Nope.
Thank you for listening to Submersion. Don't forget to subscribe for new episodes every Thursday. If you like what you heard, please leave us a rating wherever you listen. Want to interact with us? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We also love to get messages from all of you. If you have a suggestion, a comment, or just anything you'd like to share, please email us at macestudios@gmail.com.